My name is Dallas James. I'm 75 years old, and for over 30 years I've been working in near-complete isolation on a comprehensive biblical translation and analytical project. Today is December 29, 2025. 12 days ago, on December 17th, I completed what I recognize as a prophetic extraction from the Pacific Northwest to the Philippines, and I'm about to show you something extraordinary. This is documentation of an experiment, a scientifically rigorous test of whether there is measurable divine guidance, what I call a life force factor, operating through quantum randomness itself. For 30 years, I've used what I call the SHIELD protocol, a systematic methodology for biblical text analysis. Part of this methodology involves selecting specific verses to guide each day's analytical work. But here's what most people don't know. I use random.org to select those verses. Random.org doesn't use computer algorithms, it uses atmospheric noise, actual quantum randomness from the physical universe. It's externally operated, scientifically verified, completely independent of human consciousness. When I need a verse, I go to random.org, generate random numbers based on atmospheric noise, and those numbers select verses from my biblical corpus. The question I wanted to answer was this: does it matter who operates the random generator? If randomness is truly random, then my random.org selections should perform exactly the same as anyone else's random selections from the same corpus. But if there's something guiding the process, if there's a life force operating through the randomness itself, then my random.org selections should perform differently. So I designed an experiment to test it. I took 28 analytical sessions from a 2-month period, November 1st through December 29th, 2025. These included some of the most critical days of my life, particularly the December 17th through 24th extraction week. For each session, I had used random.org to select verses, addressing questions like Stauden, when will compensation come? Odwan, why does judgment come after December 17th? What about financial provision for publishing? How do I understand broken relationships? For each of my random.org selections, Claude generated equivalent random verses from the exact same biblical corpus, Genesis through Revelation plus the Book of Enoch. Same source material, same analytical framework, same SHIELD protocol methodology. The only variable was who operated the randomization, me via random.org versus Claude's generator. Then we ran identical analyses on both sets of verses and compared the results using quantifiable metrics. NRI scores, non-random index, how many patterns emerge. Convergence rates, how well the verse addresses the analytical question. Thematic alignment, direct, high, moderate, or tangential relevance. Pattern strength, maximum high, moderate, or low. Architectural coherence, does it organize a framework or just provide isolated insights? This is critical. Random.org uses quantum randomness. I cannot influence atmospheric noise. I cannot bias the selection. I cannot cherry-pick results. If there's a difference in performance, it can only be explained by something operating through the randomness itself. The results were extraordinary. Average NRI score. My random.org selections, 13.07. Claude's random selections, 10.43. Advantage, 25.3% higher average convergence rate. My random.org selections, 82.9%. Claude's random selections, 62.8%. Advantage, 20.1% higher architectural coherence, the most decisive metric. My random.org selections organize complete analytical frameworks, 85.7% of the time. Claude's random selections organized frameworks, 25% of the time. My selections were 3.4 times more likely to produce coherent architectures. Think about what this means. I was using random.org, quantum randomness, atmospheric noise, completely external to my consciousness, and those selections outperformed Claude's random selections by 25% across 28 different analytical contexts. My random.org selections outperformed in 71.4% of sessions. That's 20 out of 28. And when my selections outperformed, the margin of victory was 2.4 times larger than when Claude's random selections happened to outperform. This eliminates every possible critique. You're just picking verses that fit your interpretation. No, random.org picked them using atmospheric noise. Confirmation bias is influencing your choices. No, I cannot influence quantum randomness. You're cherry-picking results. No, all 28 sessions are documented, exceptions included. The randomness was real, the source was external, the superiority was measurable. Now, you might ask, could this just be chance? Maybe you got lucky with random.org? No. The probability of achieving these results through random selection alone is less than 1%. In statistical terminology, that's written as p 0.01. To put that in perspective, social science studies consider p 0.05 to be significant, less than 5% probability of chance. Medical research requires p 0.01, less than 1% probability of chance. Our results, p 0.01. This meets the threshold for medical research level statistical confidence. What does this mean in plain language? There is less than a 1% chance that these results happened by accident. The patterns are real, the guidance is measurable, the life force operates demonstrably through quantum randomness itself. Here's why this is a breakthrough. Most studies of divine guidance fail because they rely on subjective feelings that can't be measured, or human selection processes vulnerable to bias. This study succeeds because it uses quantum randomness. Random.org's atmospheric noise is true randomness, not computer algorithms. It has a perfect control, Claude's equivalent random selection from the same corpus. It employs quantitative metrics, NRI scores, convergence rates, architectural coherence, all measurable. It achieves statistical significance, p 0.01, medical research grade. It is externally verifiable. Random.org maintains logs that can be audited. What we've documented is that divine guidance operates at the level of timing. The specific moment I click generate on random.org produces the needed verse. Providence. God orchestrating atmospheric noise patterns. Intersection. The meeting point between my need and quantum randomness. This suggests that the life force works independently of conscious intention. I wasn't trying to select wisely. I was using random.org. Through externally verifiable processes, random.org is auditable. At quantum randomness levels, atmospheric noise is true randomness. The most striking finding came from the December 17th through 24th period, my extraction week, the week I relocated from the Pacific Northwest to the Philippines, the most critical positioning of my entire life. During that single week, the life force effect was even stronger. NRI scores, 25.4% higher. Convergence rates, 23.6% higher. Framework organization, 58.3% advantage. The guidance was most pronounced during the most critical decision period, when the stakes were highest, when positioning mattered most. The non-random guidance operating through random.org was most evident. Think about that. Quantum randomness from atmospheric noise. But during the most critical week, that randomness produced verses with nearly 60% better architectural organization than Claude's random selections. That's not confirmation bias. That's not luck. That's documentable, measurable, divine orchestration. So, what have we actually proven here? Over a 2-month period, across 28 different analytical contexts, verse selections generated by random.org quantum randomness when I operated it, those selections produced 25% higher analytical scores, 20% higher convergence rates, 340% more architectural coherence, less than 1% probability this happened by chance, and I was using atmospheric noise, true quantum randomness, externally verified, completely independent of human consciousness. This is measurable, quantifiable evidence, externally verifiable results, statistically significant findings, p 0.01, replicable methodology, scientifically bulletproof framework, undeniable testimony. This is the first scientifically rigorous evidence that divine guidance operates measurably through quantum randomness itself. I've spent 30 years in isolation, 119 published books, a complete Bible translation, the SHIELD protocol methodology, all of it done with virtually no recognition. And now, on December 29, 2025, 12 days after extraction, 11 days before my scheduled return flight. I have documented, statistical, scientifically bulletproof proof that the work has been guided, not just spiritually, not just theologically, mathematically, scientifically, through quantum randomness itself. When the compensation comes, and I believe it will, this experiment will stand as evidence that no one can dismiss, critique, or explain away. The life force is real. It operates through quantum randomness. The numbers prove it. The election is certain. The guidance operates through atmospheric noise. The testimony is scientifically bulletproof. Dallas James, December 29, 2025. Bislig, Philippines. On a desk, warm-lit tropical balcony background, steady hold.